Let's see if the internet wants to work. Because it's been real shitty for a while. This stuff is amazing, you guys. From First Aid Beauty, the Fab Skin Lab. It's the resurfacing liquid. Live by it. So I wasn't going to come on live because I wasn't going to get ready. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'll get ready. We aren't really doing much today. I've had kind of a slow morning. I have posing practice later. I've already created all my content for the day. Let me tell you that I am loving Threads, and I'm not loving it because of probably all of the other reasons that everybody else is loving it. I am loving Threads because it is lighting up my creativity. Like, yes, I love connecting with people. Yes, I love seeing what other people are posting. But like as a manager, it's kind of giving me something to respond to. And it's rolling over into every other area of my business. It's rolling over into my Instagram content, into my TikTok content, content on Facebook. Like I just have all of this content coming through me. And to be real honest, it has been a while since I have felt this. Like on my walk this morning, I was just like, I have this content idea, I have this content idea, and I have this content idea. And the other thing that it's really reminding me of is, number one, authenticity beats the algorithm every single time. And it's really allowing me to take a good look at, am I putting on masks on other platforms? Because anytime that you are putting on a mask on a certain platform, or anytime you feel like you're drained from creating content, it's usually because you're not showing up as yourself and you're not showing up authentic and you're trying to people please and you're trying to be someone that you think your audience wants. And in reality, what your audience really wants and the people who are searching for you and needing what you have to say is showing up as you, as that person you are, as the person who takes off the filters, who takes off the mask. And yes, I have a filter on this because that's part of who I am. I like that filter. But otherwise, like the way that I speak, the things that I say, are you filtering yourself in those things? And if you are, like, how can you remove that filter? So for me, that has been a really big lesson for the past couple days on Threads is, oh my gosh, am I filtering myself on other platforms? And it's giving me the awareness to remove that. If you're doing it, like, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, just be like, oh, okay, like, I am probably filtering myself here, so it's time to like remove the filter and get a little bit unfiltered, because I can guarantee you that your content is going to perform better. Your engagement is going to be better. Yes, you're probably going to repel people from you, but that is part of the process. But you're also going to attract those people that you really want to work with or that you really want to help. The other thing that Threads is teaching me is that simple. Keep things fucking simple. I think we get stuck in this wanting to write out these long captions, and I still like to do that, but also just like short little things that you write out or that you say are just as impactful as a long content post. And usually those short little sayings or quotes or just whatever stream of consciousness that you're having is going to perform the best on all platforms. So, don't be afraid to speak your mind. Do it from a place of good intention, though. I always say this. Like, I know it's really easy to create posts and have polarity in your content when you're like trying to prove somebody wrong or have it reach somebody that like you're never going to help. Really realign your focus to who it is that you're speaking to and who it is you're speaking to and who that you want to help, rather than trying to get at somebody that you're not really there to help or you're not really wanting to connect with. But, we've all done that. We've all been there. So 20 years in the making. What the hell am I even talking about? Because I just went on a random tangent. So I posted a picture up this morning from I'm about 28 days away from my first bikini competition. And I posted a progress picture up today of my posing. So those pictures are about 6 weeks apart. But while I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? This has been a literal 20-year journey for me to get on this stage. And this is by no means turning into a fitness account, although like everything that I've gone through in my fitness journey, literally applies to everything that I've gone through with building a business on social media, and all of the lessons are really similar to the same. So I wanted to like break down the fact that success is not overnight, and you really have to keep your eye on the prize. And the reason it took me 20 years to get to this point is because I didn't always have my eye on the prize. So in high school, I was always really interested in health and fitness. I wouldn't say health, I would say fitness. Like I was really, really interested in fitness. I didn't realize like nutrition was a part of that back then. But I was really interested in fitness. I wanted to be a personal trainer. I wanted to go into physical therapy. I wanted to do all of these things until I realized, where is my other, I just pulled it out. Oh my gosh. Until I realized like you had to do like chemistry and a lot of math, and that like is not my strong point at all. Anyways, so I always dreamt about doing like a bikini competition or a bodybuilding competition. I have really great genetics, luckily. And I have a lot of I'm really muscular just genetically. Like it doesn't take me a lot to have to tone, like quote unquote, tone my legs. Although I will say I was not genetically blessed with like glute muscles. So that has been something that I've had to work on for a really long time. But otherwise, like I've always been like pretty muscular. Everyone always talks about my calves. Those are not from lifting weights. Those are completely genetic. I cannot take credit for that other than genetics, because I don't even like working out my calves and they're probably super weak. But anyways, so out of high school, like it's always been something that I had wanted to do, but I never fully truly like admitted that that was something that I wanted to do. And I never had the confidence or the self-trust to go after that. I was a personal trainer for a year. I would say a year when I was in college, but I didn't like it because I didn't realize that personal training is all, like if you work in a gym, it's like basically all sales. And back then I didn't understand sales. If I was there now, like I would probably fucking crush it because I understand sales now. But back then I was like, I just want to train people. I don't want to have to sell people things, but that's what we had to do. And so after that, I kind of just like stopped thinking about it. I would work out here and there. And then I had my first son and I wanted to lose the baby weight. And then I got involved in a network marketing health and fitness company. And throughout that like 8-year journey of me doing that, like I thought about doing a competition a couple times. In fact, I actually planned one with one of my really good friends, and then we ended up not doing it because she got pregnant. And it was probably a really great thing that I didn't do it then, because my mindset wasn't there. Like I wanted to do these things for the wrong reason. And about 8 years into my health and fitness journey and 8 years into my coaching journey, I was tired. I was tired of using my body as my billboard. I was tired of my results being determining what my business was doing. I was just tired of like not having sustainable results. And I was also tired of showing that on social media, and it just became a lot. And I kind of swung the pendulum. So I was like really far over here, deep in diet culture. And I would literally do anything to see results. We've heard that story a lot. If you haven't, like I've shared it on my social media and on my podcast and stuff. But I was addicted to stimulants for a really long time. And then even after I was addicted to stimulants, I was still addicted to changing my body. And I had such a horrible relationship with my body. So I swung from this side over here where I was deep in diet culture. And then I swung all the way over to the other side to body positivity and anti-diet. And I don't think there's anything wrong with body positivity. I have my issues now with anti-diet. But I swung hard and I needed that time. Like I literally needed that time to unravel and unwire all of the damage that I did to my identity on this side. I needed to learn to truly love who, like my body as it was. I needed to go through and heal not only my metabolism, because my metabolism was fucked up. My hormones are fucked up. Everything was messed up, but I really needed to, heal my relationship with food and just allow myself to be. I didn't want to have any goals on my body. I was tired of putting all of my worth into my body, and then even when my body would change and I would get the results, like not being able to maintain the results. So if you followed me I think it was like the end of 2018, 2019, like I went really anti-diet. Like some of the posts that I made, I see them on my timeline now and I'm like, what the hell were you thinking? But I was in the extremes. And then 2020 came and we all sat at home. We all did a lot of drinking, and all of a sudden, like that summer, I like started to step away from drinking, and I was very uncomfortable with my body. But I was so deep into the anti-diet side at this point that I had created this identity and all of these rules, just like I had when I was over here on the other side of the pendulum when I was in diet culture. And I wanted to change my body, and I wanted to take the steps towards feeling better about myself. I had loved my body as it was. That was one thing. That was one amazing thing that came from that anti-diet era, was I really truly learned to love my body for what it was and to respect it. And once I realized that I respected it, I realized that I'm still able to grow and evolve and change if that's something that I want to do. However, I realized that the intention behind it was so much more important than trying to look a certain way. And so in August of 2020, I bought a scale. It was funny because the year before I literally bought a scale like exactly a year after I threw my scale away and made this whole post about it and all this stuff. Side note, you're allowed to change your mind at any moment, that this is what is important. And so I went on a journey and I started to lose weight, and it took me about 2 years to lose like 50 pounds, and I felt really good and it felt really sustainable. I have never, since 2020, I have never gone backwards on my journey. I've only gone forward. And so then last year we decided to do 75 hard. This was after I had given up alcohol and became very sober curious. And I did 75 hard, and the idea popped into my head, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do a fitness competition. But I still wasn't like fully trusting myself. I'm like, if I can do 75 days and follow this 75 hard protocol, like I could totally do a 12-week prep, right? Well, I wasn't thinking that it wasn't just going to be 12 weeks. But that's what I said in my head. And so 75 hard, like the process of creating a new identity around my body, around my relationship with food and all of that, plus 75 hard, I don't like think that 75 hard was like the reason all of this happened, but it was part of the process. And then getting into the best shape of my life without using any diet pills, without doing, I guess you would say 75 hard is probably extreme, but for me at the time, it didn't feel extreme. It just felt like adding in a few extra things, and it really built up my self-trust and my self-confidence. And what was really funny about that is like, I talked so much shit about 75 hard. I also talked a lot of shit about macros, which macros has been a game changer for me. And it's funny because oftentimes we judge and we criticize the things that we do not understand. And that's exactly what I did with those two things. So in August last year, I was feeling really good. And I was still toying around with this idea about competing. I had told a few people, like, I think I want to compete, but I'm not really sure. Like, I don't know if I can do it. And then I mentioned it to somebody. Oh no, I went on a trip with my sister for her birthday to Sedona. And I mentioned to her, and she was like, you have to do it. Like, you literally have to do it. You've been talking about this. You've been thinking about this for 20 years. Like, actually, it's time. And I was like, okay. So then I posted on my Facebook, or not on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and I asked anybody if they had any coaches. And out of alignment came my coach that I have now. And he literally is completely aligned with doing this in a fashion that is, I don't want to say prep is at all healthy, but in a way where we are focused on health, we are focused on mental health, and really just not going to the extremes. And that's the only way that I would be willing to work with anybody or even commit to doing this, right? Like, my goal is to get into the best shape of my life and then get on stage. Like the ultimate goal is just getting on stage. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I place. I don't care if I look like an idiot. None of that. I am not competing with anybody, but I'm only competing with myself. And so that last October, I started this journey, and in about 28 days, I'll be stepping on stage. But I wanted to share that with you because sometimes the process of going after the things that we want to achieve takes a lot of time, and it doesn't happen overnight. And sometimes we have to let go of our dreams so that they can come back and find us, because we have identity level shifts to make. We have things that we need to grow through in order to get to a point where we could do this and do what we want, and also like do it in a healthy manner. And when I say health, I'm talking about like all encompassing health. And this really applies too with social media, right? Like if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And when I talk about all encompassing health, I'm talking about your mental health, your physical health, like it all matters. And a lot of people jump on social media and they want to build these brands and they want it all to happen overnight. But what they don't realize is like, it can take a long time. It can take years for things to take off. But if you're in this mindset of it needs to happen overnight and you can't find the fun in the journey now, then you're gonna feel really frustrated through a lot of this. And you know, the post that I made today talked about how like practice makes perfect. And I shared like a 6-week difference. But here's the thing is, it wasn't just 6 weeks, like it literally was 20 years for me to get to this point. And now that I know how I work and who I am, and I have this awareness around who Ashley is and how she functions, and I know when I start to spiral or cycle or things happen, then I can quickly course correct like a lot faster than I could, obviously. Like if I had a goal to do something new, you know, next, it's probably going to happen a lot quicker. It's probably not going to take me 20 years because I have done the work on myself. And a lot of people think that they just need another strategy when it comes to social media. And the truth is like, no, you have a lot of learning to do with yourself. You have a lot of unlearning around a lot of things, like receiving attention and putting yourself out into the world and being okay with, you know, repelling people away from you, and also being okay with attracting people to you. Like, you know, learning how you best show up. I always talk about how there's no duplicatable successful strategy because it's all individualized. And the way that you really find that out is, first of all, obviously learning from people and then testing their strategies, but also learning about who you are and how you function. And then the third piece to that is like building the self-trust. Like there's no way that I could be doing what I am doing now without the self-trust that I built. There's no way that I could be getting my body to look a certain way, knowing that it's not going to last forever. Like we're going to reverse and we're going to come out. Yeah, I would love to maintain most of the results that I'm seeing, but like I can't be able to maintain stage results all of the time. But without me unlearning how to hate myself and learning to love my body when it was like 60 pounds heavier, I wouldn't be here today. And so all of that internal work and all of the things that I went through are all something that is adding up to me accomplishing this goal. So anyways, those are kind of like my random thoughts for the day. And I hope that this helps you to realize that like, be where you're at and really like continue to grow that relationship with yourself. It is the most important relationship that you will ever have. And it is the only relationship that is going to help you to achieve the things that you want to achieve. The other thing that I feel led to talk about is not wanting what you don't want. So a lot of times people will set goals and go after things because everybody else is doing it and they feel like it's something that they have to do or that they truly want. And a lot of times people get frustrated because they don't achieve the things that other people do when they go after those things. And almost 100% of the time, what I have found is that it's because people go after goals and go after things that they don't really want. We are very we are very influenced as a society, and we are also very influential people. And so having the awareness around like, what do I truly want and what do I truly not want is super, super important when you're on any journey. So if you're jumping into the online space and you're like, I really want to make $100 million a year, and I'm going to do anything in order to get there. But in reality, that's not what you want. Maybe what you want is to make a sustainable income that's going to help you financially with your family. And maybe that looks like only a couple $1,000s a month. But you're seeing all of these people make all of this extra money. And so you think, well, I have to do that because if I don't do that, then I'm not going to be successful. We have to create our own definitions of success, and we have to learn to lean into our own journeys because some of the journeys are going to be longer than other journeys. Okay, that's what I have for you guys today. I am going to go clean the house. I have gotten ready for the day. I'm actually going to go upload this video onto YouTube. Then I'm going to break it. I'm going to post it on Opus Clips, and it's going to cut it up into reels so that I can get my reels out, my TikToks out for the day. And I know I keep sharing that tip every single video I do, but it is so freaking powerful. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.